Masood Abdulah, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very, very good. Good to see you, mate. Enjoyed watching your workout, putting in that work. You seem like a man on top of his game right now.
Yeah. I mean, I've been training hard. Cannot wait to finally get the Commonwealth Gold Title. So yeah, I'm eager.
Yeah, whenever you've got silver, you just look like someone. Gold would just suit you better. You've got gold in your future, Masood.
Yeah, hopefully.
Listen, I want to talk a little bit about the broader Masood story. Those early days would be good to hear about. I understand when you were first in this country and you were, at school, you couldn't really speak the language, felt like a bit of an outsider. Tell me a little bit about those days.
I mean, just like any other foreigner in this country that have come to this country, it was a struggle. It was a little bit of a struggle trying to fit in, but I was very active. So like anything I did sports-wise, it's easy to communicate with people. So I love playing football, I love doing martial arts, I love doing kickboxing, and you don't really need to speak the language in order to connect with people like that. And, you make friends like that. Although I remember my first day of school, the teacher introduced me to some kids. The kids came by to shake my hand. I didn't know what they were doing, so I went...
You just buffed his hand.
I thought he was trying to grab me. I'm a little kid. Yes, I hit the guy, and for the next couple of months, they beat me up quite a lot. Yeah.
Oh, you can say the S word.
Yeah, I got told off early on. But no, they beat me up for a little while after. And they had the team and everything. I had no one.
Oh, mate. So yeah, I mean that's quite amusing to hear. That's like a funny take on it. But ultimately, it led to you getting beats.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've got brothers, I've got cousins who beat me up way worse. So what they could do was nothing. So it's like, do your worst.
But that's kind of you, coming from a different world kind of thing and trying to adapt to a whole new world. And you're what, 8 years old?
Yeah, 8.
Must have been quite difficult, though. I know, like, you can make light of it now, like I punched his hand kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite aggressive. So like, I didn't really. Even though people tried to pick on me, no one physically did anything to me. And if they did, I always stood my ground. So didn't really suffer from bullying too much. It was more like just left out and that type of stuff. But again, I got a good family around me who kept me straight, I guess.
Has that kind of helped make you who you are somewhat? Those early days where maybe you did feel left out, you still got your solid core of your family, but having to kind of fight against, you're a bit of an outsider.
Yeah, I mean, not to sound weird or anything like that, but my family didn't want me to box up until I won the ABAs. I remember my father got a phone call saying, "You know what your son just achieved?" He goes, "Nah," and they had no idea that I had won the nationals and the Tri-Nations and anything else after. But yeah, like I'm very used to just being independent, doing my own thing, chasing my own dream and seeing how far I can get. But now I've got my family's full support. I've got a good community behind me now.
Good. It's about time, right? I mean, but it feels like I've been following your career since you signed with Warren Boxing Management. It feels like you've had to show a lot of patience, and that's like been a constant theme in your life. Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I mean, coming from the amateurs to the professional ranks, I think I won the amateurs the fastest anyone has ever won it. Like in terms of winning the elites, I had 14 fights in 4 months. I turned over to the professional leagues and turned over at the worst possible time because it was COVID and everything. And yeah, I was getting like 4 fights a year or something like that, which again, I'm very fortunate to get 4 fights a year, but there's a lot of waiting around, there's a lot of this, that, and I think that's what drove me crazy more than anything else. I just love to compete, and not being able to do that was frustrating.
Even when it came to like coming to this country, for example, that required a bit of patience as well. It wasn't just like an easy, okay, I'm going to come to the UK kind of thing. It's been a constant theme in your life.
Yeah, I mean, when you're young, you don't really think about it. You just enjoy the moment as it is. And same thing with anything that happens, just like any camp. You don't really think about it. You just go through the motions, and I love to train. So for me, that doesn't mean anything. Like, as long as I get to do what I love doing, I'm fine. It's like, so before I boxed, I actually worked in the corporate world. That's something I hated, and I dread doing it. So the fact that I get to do something which I'm very passionate about, I'm happy. That's it. It could take me 8 months getting a fight. As long as I get a fight, I'm cool. And as long as I'm in the gym training, I'm fine, yeah.
So Masood, as a kid, what would you say he was like then? Because it sounds like you're a very energetic, bit of a wild kid. Is that what we'd say?
I'd say I was probably energetic when it came time to sports. Energetic when it came time to like physical work. Probably an introvert. I didn't really speak to too many people. Again, there was a language barrier. Then I didn't understand people. Like my family didn't let me go to parties or like school trips and stuff like that because we didn't. That's not the type of background we come from. Like going into like sleepovers. So I was pretty much an introvert. But when it came time to sports, I really shined. I could show my personality. I could really express myself.
I remember hearing that you didn't celebrate birthdays either, and that was a new thing for you when you came here, and you're like, what were you guys getting all excited about for birthdays? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I still find it bizarre now. So like, I've got some friends now that put some time and effort into it, and you know, for my birthday they gave me gifts and stuff, which I find weird. Like it feels awkward just accepting it, or like people congratulating you on a day where you were born. It's like, if everyone's born that's alive, like, why are we celebrating this? Yeah, but for me, it's just bizarre.
But I've seen even after your fights, you rarely celebrate, Masood, and you tend to be quite annoyed and kind of miserable after your fights, dare I say. Some of your interviews, you're like, yeah, it was all right. And I was like, he's just knocked this fella out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you just not celebrate anything, Masood?
No, I do celebrate, but I think when fights happen, I'm very, very fixated on performance. I just want to impress my coaches. I just want to impress my team and show people that, listen, I am worth backing. And if I feel like I didn't perform to the standard which I set for myself, I get upset. And doing an interview straight after a fight, like, you know, like if I come out of a sparring match, I'm like, okay, I don't give a crap about what I did good. Here's what I did bad, and here's what I want to focus on. Here's what I'm fixated on. I'm very much like a glass is half empty type of person. So I always fixate on what I need to do better. And when there's cameras in front of you and they're asking you questions about your fight, you just, emote in a very different light, I suppose.
I guess it's what makes you who you are. I guess you're a perfectionist, right? You just want to make sure you get it right for next time.
Yeah, that's it.
Tell me about your journey into boxing then. When did you first lace up the gloves? My understanding is your little brother had a bit of a role to play.
I did kickboxing back in the day. After university, me and my younger brother just we weren't as close as we was back when we were younger. We used to hang around all the time. So I joined his amateur club, Islington Boxing Club, just to bond with the guy. And one of the reasons why I joined this club is because he beat me up in the garden once. And I went, okay, if I can get my hands this good for kickboxing, I'll be amazing. And joined this club, and the more I joined, the less he started turning up. And then, just one thing fell into the other, and I just fell in love with the sport, and they kept on getting me fights, kept me busy. And I wish my younger brother was doing boxing because he was the real talent. Like,
it sounds like you ran him out of boxing.
Maybe. Who knows? We spar every once in a while, and every time we spar, I do give him a good crack just to drop him. But he was talented. That guy, anything he did, he was amazingly talented. Like, boxing, he boxed, I think, the silver medalist of Europe, and just, like, I think just about beat him. It's a shame he's not boxing right now. I would have loved to, like, compete with him and have him there as part of the team. But, it wasn't meant for him.
Still time, he's younger than you, right?
He is, yeah.
So who knows? So what's the family? You got your mum, your dad, and a brother, or what's the...
Older brother, younger sister, and mother, father as well, yeah.
What's the relationship like with them? Do you see them much? You live with them? Or?
I live with them. We're close. Everyone in my family is super close. We see each other all the time. Even though we're in the same house, like, all of us do work, all of us do have our own lives and have our own career paths and everything like that. So sometimes it's hard to see them because I leave early, come home late. Everyone's got their own schedules. But in that, we are very close. Anything that happens, we're there for each other.
That's good. I've heard you talk about your hard-working parents. I've heard you say things like, my parents have worked too hard for me to just, like, lose this fight and things like that. You speak with a lot of passion about how hard your parents have worked for you, I guess.
I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. Everyone in my family, my cousin, brothers, everyone that's involved, they all work hard. They've all made massive amounts of sacrifices. They've all done stuff to help benefit the family. I'm the only one going, guys, I'm going to give this thing a go. If it works out, we're all good. If it doesn't, I've wasted my time. Hopefully it works out. And, I just want to do everything. And having them at the back of my mind is what's going to motivate me even more to go further. So, yeah, I want to achieve what I do in boxing for them.
So that's kind of your why, right? I mean, you haven't got kids or anything?
No, I don't have kids. So I just want to buy my mum a big house and let her decorate it however she wants.
Is that the ultimate kind of like thank you?
That is, yeah. Yeah, because we grew up in council houses and everything like that, and it would be nice to just give her a mansion and say, thank you.
Well, I hope you can get there.
Yeah.
But listen, you're doing all the right things at the moment. The career's going very well. Those amateur days, flew through it. You came to boxing quite late though. So do you feel like,
23, yeah.
Yeah. So do you feel like you're playing catch up a little bit?
I feel like I was playing catch up. Now I'm at a stage where I've caught up to people. I've kind of done what I was supposed to do. Now it's about trying to get to the next level. And the next level is going to be a hard step. I do need to kind of prove myself. I do need to work on a lot of stuff. And it's very achievable. So, yeah.
The first 8 fights, I guess, it feels like they were the kind of the learning fights, and that's where you've done a lot of your education. You're still learning because you come to boxing late. But the last couple of fights, now it's just started ramping up, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. Even my fourth fight, I fought a guy. My second fight, I fought a guy who was 1-0. My fifth fight, I fought a guy who was 3-0. I was 4-0. And I've been having tests throughout the entire time. I said this at the beginning. I don't want to be one of those boxers who has 13 journeymans and then as soon as I have a real test, I get my ass kicked. I want to be tested. Every fight should be a step up. Every fight should be another test, and that is what's happening. And that's the reason why I feel like I've climbed the ladder a little bit faster than most. It's because I want to be tested. I want to see what I'm made of.
Well, jumping in with Mark Leach was, was that when that fight was presented to you? Was that an instant yes? Were you like, yeah, Mark Leach? Because I'll tell you, when I saw that written on paper, I thought, Mark Leach, that is a hard night for anyone.
So we've been having a hard time getting opponents. No one wants to fight. I'm very eager to fight anyone. I'm good at hitting people. So yeah, most
we've noticed, Masood.
Yeah, most people didn't want to fight. Mark Leach's name came up, and we said, you know what, this guy is tough. Let's see if anyone else will accept the fight. If no one else accepts, throw him in. And yet no one else accepted. And yeah, we ended up fighting Mark Leach. I was nervous for that fight. I sparred him. I thought he was amazing. I was a fan of his. When he fought Chris Bourke, I was like, damn, this guy's good. And yeah, I just wanted to go in. My mindset for that fight was, regardless of what happens, I'm going to make sure his face is lumpy by the end of the fight. That was my intention.
The way you put together your words are pretty savage when it comes to you. You got mean intentions when it comes to your opponents.
Yeah, I suppose. Before I learned the rules, I just wanted to hurt people. That was it. That was in boxing, MMA, and whatever other sport, kickboxing. Yeah.
Now you have learnt the rules. You still want to hurt people.
Yeah, but like more with like precision and class and whatnot. And I didn't realize how technical boxing was. I'm coming into the sport, and every single day I feel like I'm learning something new. And there's a proper class to it as well, which I love. And yeah, that's probably what attracts me to the sport so much, is the fact that 1 is brutal, 2, there is so much technique, there's so much science behind it, and there's so many different ways of throwing a jab, throwing a left hook, and everyone has their own way, and how can you overcome another person, and they're throwing them and stuff like that. It's just, for me, it's fascinating.
Well, listen, you certainly overcome Mark Leach. You kind of overwhelmed him, and that must have been a good moment for you. Was that the first kind of fight where maybe you thought, hey, this was good?
Yeah, I mean, that fight was a turning point for me. I think people started taking notice of me after that fight. And a lot of people, I found out, like, A lot of people bet on me to win that fight. My friends and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm happy they made good money off that fight. Because, when to be honest, the bookies didn't give me too much of a chance.
Hey, but you made a fool out of the bookies. And listen, if you were the underdog against Kasashvak, I'm not sure if you were or not, but hey, anyone who bet on you would have won that night. That's another tremendous win, the last win of your career. You must look back on that fondly.
Yeah, I mean, I look back at that fight and I go, there's a lot of stuff I could have worked on. I think I was too eager, but I do think it was a good fight for me. I do think I came in, I did half the stuff which I was supposed to. Like, as the rounds went on, I started getting better and better. I wish 1 or 2 more rounds would have went in, because I feel like I could have shown a little bit better, and I was calming down a little bit more, but yeah, it didn't extend to that.
You were like a man possessed in that fight. And you talk about how you want to hurt your opponents. It looked like you really wanted to.
He annoyed me because the way he was boxing was annoying. Like, he just deliberately kept on falling on the floor, looking at the ref like, yo, do you see this or do you see that? And yeah, I just didn't like it. That's like a very cowardly type of way of fighting. But again, that's his style. That's how he wants to fight. And yeah, that just frustrated me, because every time something happened, he would look at the ref and say, bro, just get on with the fight. But yeah.
2 good wins in a row then, and which takes you nicely onto this stage, which is George Stewart, which you have September the 6th now. Full Commonwealth gold title, the Commonwealth title. It's not Nathaniel Collins. Nathaniel Collins has left that belt behind. You happy with this fight? It's not Collins, but it's still the belt.
Well, it's a good fight for me. I've been inactive for a little while. He is the highest ranked opponent that has accepted the fight, and as I said, I want to step up every single fight. So I'm happy. I'm going to face this guy. He was the Scottish and Celtic belt champion. Yeah, it'll be a good test.
I guess it takes you geographically closer to Nathaniel Collins as well.
I mean, one Scotland won it, and another one does.
What's the deal with you and him? Because it seems to be a good fight. I'm sure he's looking above. That's probably what he's said in interviews and stuff. You wouldn't mind getting hold of him. Do you think it's a fight that would happen?
If it happens, it happens. I said this a long time ago. I don't care too much for the guy. I only care for his belt, and now we've got that. So that's the only thing I care about. If he gets back in good health, and if everything's well, and if it's meant to be, then yeah, let it happen. If it doesn't, I'm not too fussed about him. I just hope he makes it back in good health. That's the only thing.
I think he's mandatory now for the European.
Yeah.
You could get to a scenario where he wins the European title. You've won the Commonwealth. He's got the British. You could suddenly have a load of belts in a cracking fight.
That's it. I mean, that would be great if that happens. Yeah, that'd be really good for me.
How would a fight between you and him go?
I see myself stopping him. Like, I think he's a good fighter. I think he's sharp. I think he's snappy. I think he fades. And I don't think he is as strong as he think he is. And yeah, like, his last 2 fights was like a life or death type of fight. And I don't think he'll be able to swim if I'm there. Like, I think I'll be able to drown him.
What is it that makes you such a problem for the featherweights?
Don't know. I mean, I still see myself as a baby in the sport, but just I guess I'm more keen than the others, and I guess I want it a bit more than them. Just as I mentioned, the only people I think is above me are the people that have fought for world titles in the featherweight division. Anyone that hasn't fought for a world title, I think I'm up there with them, especially in this country.
Why do you think you want it more than them? Is it the reason why? Is it the doing it to buy your mum a nice house kind of thing?
Well, I gave up everything to box. I was working in the corporate world. I was earning good money and whatnot, and I chose to give everything up. My parents, like, I got a degree and everything like that. I was chasing my parents' dream, and this is my dream, and I'll fight to the death for that. And yeah, that's just something which I want.
Do you feel like you've got something to prove as well? Because obviously, you said that you got a degree, you were in the corporate world, you had a good, well-paid job, but you have taken this decision fairly, mid-20s, right, to suddenly go into boxing. You've got to prove everyone that you've made the right.
I guess the best way to say is that I don't want to go back to the corporate world, so I want to make this work.
What were you doing out of interest in the corporate world?
I was working in wealth management, and I will never go back to that again.
What's wrong with that?
It's nothing. It's just
Shout out all wealth managers. Nothing against you guys.
No, I just don't. I don't belong behind the desk. I think I deserve to be in a sport like this, and I love it. For me, it's like my dream job, and if I can get paid from it, get paid well from it, it's a dream come true.
Would it be a dream come true to become a British champion as well?
Yes, yeah. I mean, the British title is the most prestigious title in this country, and I'd love to have a hold of that. So yeah,
it feels like you're kind of a. Frank Warren has said this about Hamza Shiraz a few times. He's a great representation of modern Britain. I feel like that could probably be applied to you as well. Do you feel that?
Could be. I mean, yeah, I'd love to have that belt just to say, like, I came here 20 years later and managed to get a hold of the British title. For me, that's a dream come true. And to go from that to a world title and, represent both this country and Afghanistan and my background, that'll be like the cherry on the cake. And like, my goal is, this is my ultimate dream, to make enough money to help my country and help my family and help uproot people. That's the only thing I really care about to a certain degree, because after you've made all the money, what do you do with it? You're not going to go to your grave. You're not going to go to your grave. You're better off helping people after that. After I buy my mum a house, I want to help my own people.
Once you change your life, it's change others.
That's it.
So how do you want to be remembered then? Is it for being a world champion, or is it more that kind of thing about this is the guy that gave back and helped? Well, ultimately, how do you want to be remembered?
As a guy that didn't look back. So I've chased this dream. I didn't look back. I want to be remembered as the first Afghani world champion, someone that made history.
Okay, well, the next step, September 6th, George Stewart, Commonwealth title. Tell us what's going to happen.
Hopefully I'll punch him in his face a bunch of times till the ref stops it. But yeah, I just...
Just a great prediction here. Very good.
No. I hope it's a good fight. I hope we both perform well. Hopefully I perform better than he does. And yeah, that's it.
Where'd you put yourself at the moment in the country then? Just as a last thing here.
So, aside from the four names, Lee Woods, Josh Warrington, Isaac Dogba, Nick Ball, I put myself 5th.
Above Jazza Dickens?
Jazza Dickens, I don't know where he's at right now. But yeah, I put myself 6th then. If Jazza Dickens
okay, you put yourself behind Jazza?
Yeah, because he's fought for a world title. He's been up there with the best. I'm not deluded. Far from it. I know what's what, and I'm not here like how certain fighters go, oh yeah, I'm top whatever in the world because the WBC said no. I know where I stand, but within time I'll get there. So yeah, within time I'll beat Jazza Dickens. I'll beat the rest of the division as well.